They thought it would be simple, didn't they? A flick of the wrist, a careless word, a stab in the back, and they'd be done with it. They believed the world would move on, that you would move on, that their actions would dissolve into the ether like smoke, leaving no trace behind. But actions have consequences. Words carry weight. And the thing about smoke, it stains the air long after the fire has burned out. You feel it, don't you? That lingering ache, the heaviness they planted in your chest. They played their games, their little schemes, thinking you wouldn't notice, or worse, that you wouldn't care. But you do care. Not because you're weak, oh no, but because you're human. And that's what they underestimated. They thought you'd crumble under the weight of their betrayal, that you'd drown in the flood of their lies. But here you are, breathing, still standing. Let's get one thing straight. They cannot undo what they've done. No amount of groveling, no tears, no desperate pleas for forgiveness can rewrite the history they've carved into your soul. They built a monument to their treachery, and now it looms over them, casting a shadow they can't escape. You see, regret isn't something you give to someone. It's something they earn. And oh, have they earned it. Close your eyes for a moment. Picture them, sitting there, smug and satisfied, thinking they've won, thinking they've outsmarted you, outplayed you, left you in the dust. But here's the twist. Their victory is a mirage. It's hollow, empty. Because while they walk away with their heads held high, they leave behind a void they can't comprehend, a void that will consume them piece by piece. The thing about betrayal is that it's a one-way street. There's no turning back. They've crossed the line, and now they're on the other side, looking back at you, wondering if they've gone too far. They have, and deep down, they know it. Oh, they'll try to justify it. They'll tell themselves it wasn't that bad, that you're overreacting, that they were just doing what they had to do. But you and I both know the truth. There's no justification for what they've done, no excuse that can wash the blood from their hands. They've left a scar on you, yes, but here's the thing about scars. They heal, and when they do, they're stronger than the skin that came before. But don't mistake this for forgiveness. Forgiveness is a gift, and they haven't earned it. Not yet. No, their penance isn't absolution, it's regret. True, bone-deep regret that creeps in when they least expect it. It starts small, a whisper in the back of their mind, a nagging doubt they can't quite shake, and then it grows. You see, regret is a parasite. It feeds on their guilt, their fear, their shame, until it consumes them from the inside out. And the beauty of it? You don't have to do a thing, just watch. Watch as their mask begins to slip, as the cracks start to show, as the weight of their actions begins to crush them under its relentless pressure. But don't pity them. They don't deserve your pity. They made their bed, and now they'll lie in it, night after night, haunted by the ghosts of their choices. Let them toss and turn. Let them stare at the ceiling, replaying their betrayal over and over in their minds, wondering how they could have been so foolish, so blind. Because here's the thing they never understood. You were never their enemy. You were their mirror, reflecting back the truth they didn't want to see. And now, as they look into that mirror, all they see is their own emptiness staring back at them. So let them live with it. Let them carry the weight of their actions like a chain around their neck, dragging them down with every step they take. Because no matter how far they run, no matter how loudly they deny it, they can't escape the truth. They can't undo what they've done. And you rise. You don't just survive, you thrive. You take the pain they've caused and turn it into power, into purpose, into something they can't even begin to comprehend. Every step you take forward, every victory you claim, is a reminder to them of what they've lost. Because here's the real punishment. Their regret isn't about what they did to you. It's about what they've lost in themselves. They'll never get it back. And you'll never need them again. Do you hear it? The sound of silence. The silence that creeps in when the laughter dies down, when the applause fades, and they're left alone with nothing but their thoughts. It's deafening, isn't it? The kind of silence that feels heavier than any noise. And in that silence, they start to see it. The cracks in the foundation they once thought was unbreakable. Because betrayal isn't just a crime against another, it's a betrayal of the self. They've sown the seeds of their own undoing, and now they're reaping the harvest. Every smile they fake, every forced laugh, is a feeble attempt to plaster over the cracks, to hold together a facade that's already crumbling. Oh, they'll tell themselves they're fine. They'll put on their masks, play their roles, pretend everything is just as it should be. But deep down, they know the truth. They feel it, gnawing at the edges of their consciousness, a shadow that grows darker with every passing day. You see, regret is a slow poison. It doesn't kill you outright. It eats away at you piece by piece until there's nothing left but a hollow shell of what you once were. They thought they could walk away unscathed, that the damage they caused would stay with you and not follow them. But that's the thing about consequences. They're like shadows. No matter how fast you run, they follow you. Picture them now, sitting in their quiet moments, when there's no one around to distract them. It's in those moments that the memories come flooding back. The words they said, the choices they made, the pain they caused. It's all there, playing on a loop in their minds. And the worst part? They can't hit pause. Oh, they'll try to drown it out, maybe with distractions, maybe with excuses, maybe with lies they tell themselves to make it all feel less real. But the truth is persistent. It doesn't care about their distractions. It doesn't care about their excuses. It waits, patient and unyielding, until they're forced to confront it head on. And what do they see when they finally look at the truth? They see themselves, not as they pretend to be, but as they truly are. Flawed, weak, fragile, the very image they've spent their lives trying to hide. But here's the twist. Their regret isn't just about you, it's about what they've lost in the process. Their integrity, their dignity, their sense of self. These are the real casualties of their betrayal. And no matter how hard they try, they can't get them back. You stand as a reminder of their failure, a reflection of what they've done. Every time they see you, every time they hear your name, it's like a knife twisting in their gut. Because you survived, you endured, and in doing so, you exposed their weakness for all to see. They wanted to bury you, to silence you, to erase you from their narrative. But instead, you became the story, the one they can't escape, no matter how hard they try. And that's the beauty of it, isn't it? Their punishment isn't something you deliver. It's something they create for themselves. Let them sit with it. Let them stew in their own guilt. their own shame. They thought they were playing a game, but they didn't realize they were the pieces on the board. And you've already won. But don't mistake their regret for redemption. Regret is not the same as change. They may feel the weight of their actions, but that doesn't mean they'll do anything about it. Some people are too proud, too stubborn, too blind to learn from their mistakes. And that's their tragedy, not yours. Because while they're stuck in the past, replaying their mistakes over and over, you're moving forward. Every step you take is a step away from their shadow, a step closer to the light they tried to snuff out. And here's the real kicker. The more you grow, the more you thrive, the more their regret grows. It's a feedback loop they can't escape. Their regret fuels your strength, and your strength magnifies their regret. It's poetic, really. So let them regret. Let them crumble under the weight of their own choices. Because at the end of the day, their regret is their burden to bear, not yours. You're free now. Free to live, to rise, to become everything they tried to take from you. And them? They're trapped in the prison of their own making, forever haunted by the echoes of what they've done. Ah, the grand finale. The moment where the dust settles, where the weight of their choices finally comes crashing down. They thought they could outwit consequence, outrun accountability, outlast the truth. But reality, my friend, is a relentless force. And now, the reckoning they've long avoided stands at their doorstep, uninvited yet inevitable. Let's take a closer look at them now, shall we? The ones who thought they could play with fire and never get burned. The ones who whispered lies, who wove schemes, who walked over others without a second glance. They were so confident, so certain of their invincibility. And yet here they are, broken, exposed, and utterly powerless. Because regret has a funny way of multiplying. It starts small, a quiet voice in the back of their mind, easy to ignore. But over time, it grows louder, more insistent, until it becomes a roar they can't silence. And now, that roar is all they hear. Their nights are no longer restful, their days no longer peaceful. The world they built for themselves, the lies, the manipulation, the betrayal, has become their cage. And they've handed you the key. But let's not pretend this is about revenge. Oh no, that would be too easy, too predictable. This is about something far greater. This is about balance, about justice, about the universe setting things right. They made their choices, and now they must live with the consequences. And the beauty of it all? You didn't have to lift a finger. Their downfall was self-inflicted, their suffering self-created. Because that's the thing about betrayal. It's a double-edged sword. The pain they caused you was real, yes, but the blade cuts both ways. So now they live in a world of their own making, a world where every shadow feels like a threat, where every sound reminds them of the silence they fear most. They look in the mirror and see not who they are, but what they've become. And that image haunts them. But here's the twist they never saw coming. You don't hate them. No, hate would mean they still have power over you, that they still occupy space in your mind. But you've risen above that. You've transcended their actions, their lies, their attempts to break you. You're not the victim anymore. You're the victor. And they? They're the architects of their own destruction. Every step you take forward is a reminder of their failure. Every success you achieve Every moment of joy, every ounce of strength you display, it's a reflection of their inability to hold you down. And that, more than anything, is what destroys them. But don't mistake their regret for redemption. Redemption requires courage, humility, and a willingness to change. And let's be honest, how many of them have that kind of strength? No, they'll cling to their pride, their excuses, their desperate attempts to rewrite the narrative. But deep down, they know the truth, and that truth is their prison. Picture this: them, alone in their thoughts, trying to convince themselves they're not the villain. But no matter how they spin the story, no matter how many lies they tell themselves, they can't escape the one undeniable fact. They can't undo what they've done. And so, they'll carry that weight with them every single day. It will follow them like a shadow, creeping closer, darker, heavier. Because regret isn't just a feeling, it's a chain. And the tighter they try to hold on to their illusions, the heavier that chain becomes. But you've let go of your chains. You've stepped into the light. You've found a strength they can't comprehend, a resilience they could never match. You're not defined by what they did to you. You're defined by what you've done since. And here's the irony of it all. They thought they could break you, but all they did was make you stronger. Their betrayal was supposed to be the end of your story, but it became the beginning of something far greater. So let them live with their regret. Let them wrestle with their guilt, their shame, their fear. Because at the end of the day, their actions are their legacy, and that legacy will haunt them for the rest of their days. And you're free. Free to live, to grow, to thrive. Free to write your own story, a story they can never touch, never tarnish, never take away. Because while they're trapped in the void of their own making, you've stepped into the light. And that, my friend, is the greatest victory of all.